Well, this is the third installment episode of Living Right. So as you know, the theme for Shiloh this year is walking out a new normal by living right and living well. And so this is actually the third installment of Living Well, not Living Right. And so we have our resident nurse, Auntie Ruth, with us. But then we have some people who are trying to take over my job as the host of the segment of the episode, who are going to be asking Sister Ruth some questions. Today we're talking about this month. Now I know we're like halfway through the month of February. Forgive us for being late, but this is something that you can focus on in February, but all throughout the year, just like the sugar situation. By the way, we're not off sugar. So now because we're moving on to the heart, it's not reason to start eating all the sugars, okay? We're still saying keep reducing the sugar. Now we want to talk about the heart. And so Valentine's has gone, so, the romantic part of the heart is over. We still have the physical aspect of the heart to be concerned about. I love how the scripture says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health." And so he highlights the importance of health. So he says, I want you to have good health. And Sister Ruth, I think that an essential organ, is the heart called an organ?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. An essential organ to the body functioning well, to being in good health, is the heart. Okay, so we have prepared for this, and you have a beautiful drawing and stuff that we probably won't be able to show now, but we'll show later. But summarize for us the heart.
So the heart is very intricate, and as we know, our bodies are intricate. We are made by God, and we celebrate that. And because of that, we have to be careful with every organ that God has put into our body.
Right.
So today we just want to look a little bit about the heart. Now, there's a lot more information, but we're just going to skim over the top of it so that we don't get too embedded, because we'll be here like an hour going. So I have some did you knows. Did you know that the heart beats 100,000 times a day? Some people less, some more, but at least 100,000 times. Imagine that. That's your beats.
In a 24-hour cycle kind of thing.
Yeah, a day. Did you know that the heart pumps 5 liters of blood throughout your body? Daily.
Blood?
5 liters. Too many. Now, the size of your heart. If you make a fist, that's your heart size. Yep.
Really?
That's the size of your heart. It's the
seems
size of
small.
your fist.
Yeah, it seems small, right?
It seems small.
Yeah, but if you're small, you should have a have a big heart and a small chest. All right, so your heart is located in your rib cage, right? So that's in your chest, and it is protected by the ribs and the sternum. You remember what the sternum is? We did the skeletal system the last time.
If you were at the mental health, the physical health session, you would have known that.
Yeah.
Where the sternum is.
Yep. So that bone in the middle helps protect the heart, and then the ribs come over, and on top of that you have linings, and you have muscle, and so on. Okay, so it's protected. All right. Now we have 4 chambers in the heart. You have 2 atrium and 2 ventricles. The atriums are in the top, the ventricles are in the bottom. What does the heart do?
Pumps blood.
Okay.
5 liters.
Yeah, 5 liters.
That's true. So it pumps your blood, and in pumping, it does what? Transport?
Nutrients.
Transport. Is your mic on?
Your mic is not working well? It's probably just because she has an angelic voice.
Okay.
It
So-
transport nutrients.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
on.
it
We
transports.
can hear her, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it transports the blood throughout the body. It also provides the circulation, meaning it helps with all the blood to get in, to get out. The blood that needs cleaning to get it into the lungs, cleans it, then it comes back to the heart distributes it. The heart collects the lungs, the clean blood from the heart collects the clean blood from the lungs and distributes it to the rest of the body, and vice versa. So that's how it works. So the heart and the lungs, they work very closely together. Right?
I have a question, Sister Ruth. So when you say that the heart transport nutrients, now we understand that it transports the clean blood, you were saying. Okay. but maybe this could help somebody understand how essential it is to take care of their heart, because I would imagine that a unhealthy heart won't be able to transport clean blood or won't be able to do that. And the nutrients, what sort of nutrients does the blood contain? Do you know?
All right. So remember when we did the digestion and we talked about the small intestine absorbing the foods?
Yeah.
So those are the things, those are the nutrients that gets into the blood because it's absorbed into the small intestines, into the lining. It gets into the bloodstream and then the heart pumps. So when it pumps, it takes it.
Ah, okay.
I just got something.
Oh, okay.
That's why when they want to take like a test or something, they take your blood for because it's in the
Eureka
blood.
moment. It's
Yes.
true.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Very true. All your
Okay,
nutrients.
this whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So your
No,
potassium.
no, no. See, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
It's true. It's
Yes.
true.
So your potassium, your calcium, all the minerals and the other vitamins and other things, they're in your blood. So when you take a blood test, that's how we know your sodium is low, your potassium is high, you know.
And so the
That's how
heart
we
is
know.
essential to all that transportation.
Yes.
All
so
right.
the heart gets it around. If the heart stops pumping, what do you think is going to happen?
If the heart stops pumping,
Yeah.
well,
you're going to die.
Yeah. It stops pumping for long enough, you will be dead.
yeah, because you need it to do that.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And also, so it takes the nutrients, but also the oxygen, the carbon dioxide. So the oxygen is needed. Yes, we want that. The carbon dioxide and other gases we don't need, it gets rid of it. Right? So that's the heart.
Okay, so we hope that you, that is watching, that we got to summarize, right? Because some people are like me. We need a summary.
Right.
See, I was a student that went to school, reviewed the lessons at the end of the day and at the end of the week. Just,
Okay.
make sure you get it.
A good student.
Yeah.
Oh, it was? Okay. I thought it was because I had problems learning. Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda, for making me feel better. But, okay, so what have we said so far? The heart is essential because it pumps, it's what pumps the blood. It transports nutrients.
Yes.
And it also helps in, I guess, cleaning.
Yes. Deoxygenation.
Okay, so it's like the I don't want to gross anybody out, but it's kind of like the heart is a part of the sewer system, so to speak, of the blood. or-
Well, the lung is more like that, but the
okay.
heart takes it to the lung so that it can get
gotcha.
cleaned,
Okay.
and then when it comes back, transports it.
okay.
Yeah.
So an
by pumping.
essential heart is important. Okay. All right. What's the next thing we're going to talk about? Okay.
So I have a question. You mentioned, just being the heart is intricately made, and we need to be careful with how we take care of it. So, what are some things that are bad for the heart?
So there are some foods you should try to stay away from. One of the things is cholesterol, but the bad one. So a lot of people would call cholesterol all fats. We'll say yes, but there are good fats and there are bad fats. So your LDLs is what you don't want, which is your low density lipoproteins. You don't want that to be high in your blood. You want that to be as low as can be. What you need high is your HDL, high density lipoproteins. Right? Because it's very important for your body and for your body's function.
So that's connected to foods.
That's connected to food.
So cholesterol is, you're saying high cholesterol is there's a connection to the heart.
Yes.
If somebody has high cholesterol.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but
okay.
the high cholesterol one meaning LDLs.
Okay.
If you have high cholesterols, but there are HDLs, you're happy.
Okay.
Yes, that's what you want. So you do a blood test, and your HDL is a certain number, it's high, the doctor is very happy. And your heart is happy.
So how does one do you wait until there's a situation, or should you get like a heart check ever so often?
No, you should have a heart check. It should be in your regular physical,
Okay.
like once a year.
Say to
Everything.
the doctor, I need
all
my cholesterol.
All your organs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All your organs should be checked because what the doctors do is that they send you for a blood workup, and the workup includes all of that. It includes
okay.
your cholesterol levels and everything else,
Okay.
so that they
Okay.
can see how your heart is doing, how your body is doing on a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's high cholesterol.
Yeah. So the foods that you can get that from. So now you don't want LDLs, so you need to cut down on the number of fried foods.
Okay.
So your fried foods, high sugars, again, glucose.
So you see, we're continuing low
Yeah.
sugar, but
Yeah.
then also cut down on the high fried
High
foods.
fried foods,
Okay.
Processed meats, too much sausages, too many bacon, bacon every day, 10 strips.
Okay.
And the other, anything that has sugar, so ice cream, your pastries, too much.
Okay.
It's not good. So yes, you can have a little, and maybe once a week, or you have small portions, but try not to have too many of those because they do have high levels of lipid LDH,
Okay.
all right, of low density lipoproteins.
So does that mean then that we should avoid as often as is possible junk food?
Yes.
Because most of it is fried. Okay.
Once they're processed,
Okay.
try not to have too much of it. I'm not saying none, but you try to cut it down.
Okay.
Does it matter what kind of oil you fry it in? Because you know some people say things like coconut oil or it's healthy or avocado oil. Like
Yes.
if I fry my chips in avocado oil, am I home free?
No, because it's still processed.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah, it's still processed. It may be better, but it's still processed.
Okay.
So even if you say you're using vegetable oil, it's still oil. And it's going to get, what you call that, hydrogenated. There's a process that happens when it burns.
Okay.
So you still don't want to have too much of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just reduce the amount.
Okay.
Now for your HDLs though, it is good. So your good foods is all your plant fats. Coconut is an HDL. Yeah, so all the plant fats, they're good for you.
Wait a minute. So does that mean she could fry the chips in coconut oil instead?
Yeah, but it still get you know,
Oh,
it
okay.
still gets
Hydrogenated,
processed.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
better,
Okay.
but still not good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's
if
still
you,
an
if you,
oil.
But if you have to eat an oil, coconut
So-
oil is a
Yeah, but
is a good
coconut
option.
oil, yes, and
Okay.
you have it in your food without frying it. You could just put the coconut oil over your food,
Right.
or you take it like a medication. Some people do that.
I'm sorry.
Like medication. Some people just take coconut oil, a spoonful every day, and
Sister
they said it's good. Yes, they said it's
I've heard
good.
this as well, actually.
They said it's good. One person claimed, no studies done, but they claimed that it helps with dementia.
Oh.
That's a claim. So
Oh.
we don't know. I've not seen any
Well,
studies.
I just got triggered because I just had
natural stuff.
flashbacks of cod liver oil. In fact, we had to take that every morning.
And cod liver oil is good stuff because fish oil is good for us. It helps you with the HDL.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So our parents knew what they were doing.
they were, yeah, exactly, exactly. As the
Yes.
people would say, common sense was made before book.
Yep.
So
I have a question, actually. What happens if you're your body doesn't have enough, or you're not eating enough in the good cholesterols? Like you have low levels of HDLs.
Yeah.
What happens?
So what happens is your LDLs rise, and you can have problems like deposits of fat in the blood vessels. So if you have a high level of HDL in your body, of LDL in your body, these plaque-like things get stuck onto your blood vessels. And when you have that stuck onto your blood vessels, it reduces the lumen. So if it was like this, your lumen, it is now like this. And you know if it's smaller, what happens? Think about a pipe. Say a pipe is clogged. What happens when you open the pipe? The pressure it has to use to get through that pipe. The pressure is going to break the nuts, it's going to break a valve, it's going to break a joint where it's joined. And because of that, you have problems. So you have leakage, you have ruptures, and that actually happens in your body. So when you have these plaque buildups, you have less space, you have buildup of pressure, you end up with high blood pressure, you end up with heart attack or myocardial infarction, you end up with cholesteremia, dyslipidemia. You have all these conditions that affects the body's function, so that you can no longer circulate the blood. The organs are no longer getting the blood as they're supposed to, because certain places are defective because of that.
So let me see if I get this right. What you're saying is that when we don't give our bodies the right kind of HDLs, and when we give our bodies too much of the LDLs, you give your body, you end up with some of those conditions,
Yeah, you
like
can.
hypertension.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we need to do is to avoid the LDLs and increase the HDLs.
Right. So
Okay.
increase the HDLs. You cannot avoid all of it.
Right.
But you just want to put in the good stuff.
Okay.
So the more of the good stuff you put in, the better chance your body has to deal with what's going on inside.
Okay, so for people like my friends, like Reverend Lorraine or Sister Ada or Sister Michelle or Sister Almarine, like people like us who tell us exactly what we're supposed to do when we're going down the grocery aisle. Okay, like a few. I know you said coconut oil. We know we need to avoid the fast foods, fried food like fried chickens and all that. So we avoid the oily stuff. Besides the oily things, are there other things we should avoid in terms of avoiding LDLs?
Yeah, so when you're preparing your meats,
Okay.
you try and remove the fats under the
so
skin.
take the fat off.
Yes,
Okay.
you try and do that.
Okay.
When you're looking at when you're shopping, you look at the list. See if you have anything on the list there that says, okay, this was processed. Processed by who, when, where. Look at the processing.
Okay. So avoid processed stuff. Avoid
yes, too
skins.
much of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So more lean.
So you
meat
want
is always
lean,
better.
yes.
Okay.
You want
Okay.
lean. You're not saying not to eat the meat, but you can prepare it differently. Not every day you're going to have fried. Not every day you're going to have bacon.
Okay.
But you can do different things. So you have baked chicken instead, for most of the week. Boil it, steam it, different ways so that
Okay.
you avoid too much of the oil.
And I'm assuming more vegetables is also always
And
a
more
plus.
veggies,
Okay.
yes, it's always good.
Okay.
More
So we
vegetables.
already talked about reducing the rice and the pasta for the sugar. So just add. So maybe we should have half a plate of veggies. Is a good idea.
Yeah, well, that's what the people, the Diabetic Association at one time, that's what they were saying.
Oh.
So that the other half split up between the other things that you need to eat.
The meat and the starch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. So then, in order to increase our HDLs, we should do things like what? Avocados. And
Yes, you do more plant-based foods and you try
Okay.
to have more veggies and look at the way you're preparing your meats and the use of processed foods.
Okay. So again, I'm sorry. When you say a plant-based food, you mean like beans, peas?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything that comes from the ground
Okay.
is good,
Okay.
right? What was that the diet with Daniel?
The Daniel fast. Okay.
So 'cause in the Bible we see it. They ate fruits and vegetables and they were shining, right? So maybe we could go back to that and see how it goes. But I know I like meats,
Yeah.
but I would just add more
Okay.
of that type of food to your plates.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if someone has high cholesterol, let's say it's extremely high, would you suggest maybe for a period of time they only do plant-based diet, or it's always good to have a balance regardless?
So if they have high LDLs, the doctor would give you something, either send you to the dietitian or give you a list of things that you need to stay away from and to do so that you can increase the HDL. Because you don't want LDLs rising in the blood because then it's like you're at risk for a heart attack. Technically that's what it is. And then you may start having problems with high blood pressure, start going up instead of, being a normal rate. Even your heart rate might start increasing too because of that. Because the heart now is trying hard to work and it should not be trying that hard. It should be working, at a normal pace, a pace that is comfortable for the body to function and not giving you stress. Yeah, because then my thing is, that is high, this is happening, I don't know what to do. No, you go to your doctor and you get checked out. Yeah, and while you're going to the doctor, you're praying. Lord, give the doctor
Wisdom.
understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and how to help me deal with my situation. They studied. They know about it. They should be able to help. And if they can't help, refer you to a specialist.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a question, Sister Ada? Or did you?
Oh, well, yeah. I think my question was about, we were talking in the beginning about how many beats that the heart does, like per day. Was that per day?
Yes.
Good Lord. Okay. I've heard people say this resting heart rate thing. How many beats your heart beats when you're at rest. And I'm just wondering, like, what is actually happening to your heart when that heart rate is so high? Why is that a bad thing? And how do we correct it?
So it would mean that your heart does not get to rest. It means that your heart keep pumping at a rate that is above your normal. So for instance, if your heart rate is normally 70 beats per minute,
Yeah.
it is now 100 beats per minute. That's not normal for you. And because of that, the heart is not getting to rest. So
Okay.
if you sit down, your heart should go to 70 or 60 beats. That's what it was for you. Because remember, everybody's resting heart rate is different,
Okay.
right?
Oh.
But you should not have a resting heart rate of 100.
Okay.
That is an active heart rate. That's
Okay.
somebody's doing something. So if you sit down, your heart rate should go back to your resting, which may be 65, 70, whatever it is for you. And if it does not go back there, but you get up and you're active, and it's still 100 or it's 110, something is wrong.
So could it be then that it may not be something physical? It could be like stress or anxieties or
It
stuff
could
like
be,
that?
yes, it could
Okay.
be, because a lot of times the head, your brain, what is happening inside your body affects your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't understand how, and I don't know if scientists up to now understand exactly what happens,
Mm-hmm.
but things affect your heart a lot. And also, you have to be careful with what is happening
Mm-hmm.
around you. So, if you are stressed out about something and your heart rate increases for a time, that may not be a worry because you know it's the stress. If you're not having stress and you think everything is okay, but you're still having that heart rate increase when you're resting, it needs to be checked out. You need to go see a doctor.
But this is really cool. I mean, I wish we had more time, but this conversation, when you talk about what's happening around us, is that sometimes we don't realize how what's happening around us. It could be people. You know, there's some people that they come around and
They affect your heart.
yeah, or sometimes you hear their names or something, and then it creates a measure of trigger or tension. So it's important. We're not telling you to kick people out of your lives. What we're saying is guard your environment. Somebody, I think it's either Sister Angel or Sister Almarin. Somebody protect your mental health at all costs. It's yours, okay?
Yes.
It's an email signature. It's really important to guard your mind. Hang around people. There's some people that are high tension, high stress, and they want to make their crisis your crisis. You got to be careful about that as well. And it's not even so much something you ate. It's just that hypertension, that
Yes, that
stress
affects you.
that people that can happen. And be careful where you go. I know even me, if I go in certain places, because as a Christian, you were raised, you're not supposed to do certain things. So if I go into a place where the music is loud, then I literally begin to get palpitations because I feel like I'm committing the worst sin. I'm uncomfortable. And you get all anxious and stressed out and bothered. I mean, that's a simple example, but be very careful of our environment when it comes to protecting your heart, not just what you eat. And cultivate an environment and an atmosphere in your house, even in your car, that you can get away to.
Yes.
Exactly. Have your wusa moments. When I turn on my car, for example, it's always on some classical station or some worship music. I don't want to turn it on to CFRA. Because, something positive, something that's encouraging. I mean, I have a good suggestion. You can download the Shiloh Holiness Church sermon playlist and just put it in your car. And, I hear the pastor's voice is really nice to listen to. It's very soothing and informative and anointed as well. So, now my heart is racing. Okay, so other questions or?
I have one more question. Why is it that athletes have a much lower resting heart rate?
Well, I'm told because of the exercises. Yeah. So my blood pressure is usually 100 over 60, 100 over 70, no more than 110. Sometimes it goes down to 90 and I'm fine. No, people will look at me and ask, why is your blood pressure always that low? Because I was an athlete.
Okay.
I was on track.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of track up to high school. And they're telling us because of the exercises and different training that you do, the heart gets accustomed to not having to work so hard to do anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's well fit. Well,
Had we known.
well.
I
Had
thought it
we
would
known,
be
we
the
could have been
opposite.
Push
athletes.
everybody.
I don't know about you, but
I would have
I don't know
avoided
about
all
you,
the
but it's not
PE
had we known.
classes.
It's not too late.
I don't know. Is it too late for people like us?
I'm sorry. Stop these people like us, people like you.
who are not athletes.
I would say check your doctor first. But then, exercise at any age, I think is good. There's nothing negative, but you need to check first before you start. Yeah?
And the question we're all wondering, so Sister Ruth, what kind of races did you win as an athlete?
Oh, so I had a 100 meter, I had 200 meters, and I had the record for maybe less than a year. Yeah, so that was it. And then I did long jump.
Okay.
High jump too, but long jump was better.
Long jump, high jump.
Wow. 1 and
Can you
200.
imagine?
Record?
Yes, I had a record for a little bit. And then somebody came and broke it.
The point is she had it for a while.
Yes, I
No,
had it.
but no, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Record? Wow.
That's school days. Happy times.
Brother Kalen, did you know that about your mommy? Interesting. Now that she said it, we can see it though.
Yeah.
Okay, so did we get all our questions out? Okay, we just want to tease the people a little bit to practice good heart health. Okay, to have healthy hearts. So let's recap what we have talked about today. Essentially, we talked about everything that we shared was that the heart is an essential organ in the body, right? And the heart needs to be kept healthy because it performs essential duties to being alive. And one of the ways to keeping it healthy is to naturally reducing our stress levels. Stress will happen, but creating atmospheres that will, help us de-stress, but also another way to reduce our stress level or to not be as stressed is to exercise. Okay, we talked at least 100 minutes a week or an hour a week at least. But in a perfect world, like 90 minutes a week of exercise is important. And then we also talked about another way to reduce stress, to keep the heart healthy is by the foods we eat. So there are foods we want to avoid, like fried foods, fast foods, oily stuff. So and I noticed you picked on bacon. She almost like, yeah, exactly. Bacon is good. Crispy bacon.
But not too much.
That's right. So we avoid the bacon, avoid the oily stuff, and then increase the plant-based stuff. So like peas, beans, avocados.
Leafy vegetables.
Yep. What is that?
So your lettuce, your spinach.
Oh, that stuff.
You did say spinach. You did say spinach.
Yeah. Sister Lancy the other day tried to get me to eat an actual spinach leaf. I know. Can you imagine? Like it was the actual leaf. No, we're gonna cook that. No. Raw spinach?
Yes, you wash it and you eat it.
I know that's what it was. She's like, Pastor, this is good for you. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it is good.
No rabbit living here. So no. All joke aside, but it is really good. Even kale.
Yeah,
Something I
kale is
really
good.
didn't like. My mother used to try to get me to eat it.
Cabbage.
Eventually, I started eating kale. Cabbage
Yeah.
too. Yes, I like the flat cabbage. Okay. So exercise, watching what we eat, that's really important for the health and the stress level. And this is not just because I'm a pastor, but praying really helps because when you pray, you talk to the Lord about what's in your heart. Literally, talk to the Lord about what's on your heart. And so that helps to take some of the stuff off. And worship also helps as well. Just engaging in a time of worship music. So that's it. Let's wrap up. How are we wrapping up? Did you get all your questions out, Sister Rhonda?
I did, thank you.
Okay, good. Sister Adam, Mrs. Chisi?
I'm all good. Close.
Chisi.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. And the angel from over there. You got to use your mic, Angel. I know you
Sorry, I'm so
have an
sorry.
angelic voice.
I thought of a
but-
question. I'm so sorry. As you were talking about the foods and avoiding like oily foods, what about people who use an air fryer? Is that a safe alternative to like deep frying your?
Yes, it is a safer alternative. It's safer than frying in deep oil, like deep frying. But it's even safer to steam or boil. But we're not saying don't have anything that is fried. We're just saying cut down on the amount of fried foods. Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed in terms of the steaming, when you talk about the steaming or even the boiling, some people boil this stuff in the water, like the vegetables, we boil it in water. There's a really cool trick. You can get a steamer. It's not a trick. You get a steamer and you just put it over water and you steam it that way. If you can't afford a fancy steamer, tell you what I did. I bought I don't know what the word is. I call it a coriander, but I don't think it is. Colander, that's the word. And it has all these holes. You get the silver one. You put your vegetables in there. And you just cover it, and that's a really good way. And you keep the crispness in the vegetables, and you just put a little olive oil, and whatever seasoning you want, and you just toss it together, and you have good vegetables.
And you can get that at the dollar store.
A colander, a colander.
Colanders. So it's not expensive, guys.
Yeah, make sure you get a metal one though. Don't put a
Yes.
plastic one. It
Not
won't
a
work.
plastic, no.
Yeah, so you don't have to, because sometimes you could get a pot set with a steamer, but I find sometimes the steamers are small.
Yeah.
So when you get that big thing and you can steam your vegetables, it's a really good way. You toss that up. All right, listen. We didn't want to take a lot of your time. I think we probably did take more than we wanted to take. But I hope you got something. We're not professionals except for Sister Ruth. She's great at what she does. She's really good at.
Yes.
And now she's showing off because she's an athlete. So, next Sunday she's showing up in church with her medals and her ribbons, But no, Auntie Ruth, thank you so much. But we want to challenge people to we don't just want you to prosper. spiritually, we want you to be in good health. We want you to enjoy the blessings of the Lord, like enjoy the blessings, and want you to see your children's children and be able to lift them and hug them and do all that good stuff that they need you to do. So please, let's practice heart health for the rest of the year. It's really, really important. Take care of your heart. Just like there is no heaven without a heart surrendered to Jesus Christ, there is no long life without a heart that is not healthy. Did you get that? Yeah. I feel a spirit right there. Like, yeah, we're having church. Thank you, Sister Gabs. But no, seriously, let's take care of, just as our spiritual heart is important, our physical heart is extremely important. So God bless you. May the Lord bless us with good heart health in the months to come. Father, if there is someone who, not if, but for those who watch this, let this be a challenge to them, to be heart healthy. But somebody may have heart issues. Somebody may be burdened by stress, anxieties, worries of different kinds. Lord, you say, cast all our cares on you, for you care for us. So in this moment, cause them to just give them their care. Show them the beauty and the joy and the intimacy that prayer brings. Not only is it good for us to get answers, but it's good for our heart. But Father, somebody might be struggling with their health. You know the situation. I pray that you'd heal them now. I pray that you'd touch them. Father, you can do a supernatural healing, and for somebody it can be a process kind of healing. Yes. Lord, whatever path you choose to take, teach us to surrender to it, and we pray that your will be done. So, Father, I pray that you'd continue to make this church one of the healthiest churches ever as you bless our people with good health. We receive it in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. I kind of like this co-hosting thing. I enjoyed it.